Swamp, first episode,
Oh yeah, this is recording.
October 7th, 2017. How you feeling?
I ate so much cheesecake factory last night.
I'm Kayla,
I'm Meredith.
and this was a mistake. Welcome to our first show. We're here live at WECB. If you don't know what This Is a Mistake is, we don't either, so that's really good. It's a morning acoustic show where Meredith and I banter about different things. We talk about different mistakes we made. It's a good time. How you doing, Meredith?
I'm good. I got you a nice playlist. Lots of acoustic stuff for this morning.
Yeah, make any mistakes recently?
Yeah, I went to the Cheesecake Factory yesterday, and I really wish I hadn't.
Yeah?
Do you go to the Cheesecake Factory and ever just realize you regret everything?
I've done that with Olive Garden before.
Ooh.
Yeah. What'd you order from Cheesecake?
I got chicken marsala, and then I don't know why I didn't expect it to be ridiculously massive.
Yeah. See, we're making mistakes here every day on WCB. Coming up next, what song do we have up next, Meredith?
We've got Brooklyn by Theo Katzman.
All right, Brooklyn by Theo Katzman. This was a mistake.
Socks and stickers and dress shoes just in case.
This sounds like 3 minutes.
So we're gonna talk a little bit about how we met. We'd like to dedicate this episode to the homie, the OG, Mr. Stephen Himmer, who was our professor in research writing. And Meredith actually just recalled the story of how we met. Do you want to tell it?
So what you thought it was that we just sat next to each other in class and started talking. But the truth is, one day I was really late to class, and then since I was really stressed out, I was just complaining to anyone that was nearby, and you were standing there waiting for an elevator. And I turned to you and said, "Oh my God, I'm so late for class. I'm so stressed out." And you were like, "Oh, you'll make it. It's fine." And then I completely forgot who I had talked to until I walked into my next class, and you were sitting there, and you were like, "Oh, did you get to your class on time?" And then I realized I had to talk to you.
Exactly. So yeah, it's this whole friendship was founded on Meredith not knowing who I was, which is amazing. We had a lot of shenanigans on our floor actually. For example, and we used to talk about them in research writing every day, and our professor would just laugh at us because he probably thought we were making this up. But the truth is, we actually weren't. For example, one of our floor mates brought in a live lobster.
That did happen.
And it lived in the sink. His name was Larry, and we ate him. And
You did?
Yeah, we did.
I was unaware of that fact.
Yeah, they cooked him. He wasn't very good. He was very tense.
Tense.
Yeah, he was very stressed out, which, as you can imagine why. Another thing is that Meredith one time bought a Ouija board.
I did do that.
Yeah, explain that situation.
I bought a Ouija board, or I guess I brought it. I'd had it for a while. I got it at Goodwill, which is probably not the place you should be buying a Ouija board. But then I brought it in, and then one day, I don't remember who it was, but I was invited into the common room to use the Ouija board, and then there was a ghost named Kayla. I'm not making this up. That haunted our floor and was in love with someone.
But yeah, those are just a few of the shenanigans, and we'll talk about more because the name of the show is This Was a Mistake, and we make a lot of mistakes, and a lot of those happened on the 10th floor of Little Building.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. What song do we have next?
We've got When I Go by the Slow Club.
All right, When I Go by the Slow Club on WECB.
And you just heard When I Go by the Slow Club, I Will Follow You Into the Dark by Death Cab for Cutie, and Brielle by Sky Sailing.
Which is actually a cover. It's an acoustic cover of Owl City, right?
Shockingly, it's not a cover. Owl City did an entire acoustic album under the name Sky Sailing.
That's amazing.
Literally all I listened to 8th grade.
Yeah, love that middle school nostalgia. Fireflies was everybody's jam.
Vanilla Twilight.
Vanilla
If
Twilight.
you need to cry.
Yeah, that song is really emo. So we're gonna talk about hold on, sorry, my headphone volume is a little suspicious right now. It's okay. It's a little staticky. It's fine. We're gonna talk about a story that we saw on Twitter Moments this morning. Not a sponsor for Twitter. We were just kind of obsessed
Twitter
with
Moments
it.
is my whole news source.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a journalism major. I shouldn't say that, but it's okay. We're okay. We're fine. We're gonna talk about the McVegan burger that is being introduced to a McDonald's in Finland. How do you feel about that?
I'm mad.
Yeah.
McDonald's, this is my personal opinion, McDonald's was blamed fully for the obesity crisis of the early 2000s when they never said they were healthy, but everyone was just like, this is McDonald's fault. And then that dude made Super Size Me and then got really fat because obviously all he did was supersize everything he ate. I'm just I don't even eat at McDonald's that much, but I'm still mad.
That is true. Something I experienced, speaking of McDonald's, I don't know. I'm from New York. Every single McDonald's that I know is open for 24 hours. However, in Boston, Massachusetts, when you're trying to get some fries and McNuggets, at midnight, like a normal college student. It was closed. I walked in. There were people inside. Doors were locked. Couldn't get in. It was pretty unfortunate.
The bars close at 2. You think McDonald's gonna stay open past 12?
Listen, a girl can dream. A girl can dream.
Got the max.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it's the whole thing about veganism is that like there's a problem with it being accessible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess getting vegan options at McDonald's is a good thing, but at the same time, if you're going to McDonald's, I don't think you're trying to get a vegan burger.
And if you're trying to go at midnight, you're not gonna get a vegan burger either.
That's
You're only vegan during the day.
you're only vegan from the hours of 9 a.m. to like 8 p.m. That's what we learned here. We love vegans. We love them. We're not vegans unless you are. I don't know. No, yeah, I love chicken too much. I'm sorry. All right, what song do we got next?
We've got The Girl by City and Color.
All right, The Girl by City and Color, and after that, make sure to stick around for our weekly Twitter poll.
I wish that I knew all I know now. But when I was younger, I wish I knew
It's a good time.
Got it. Alright, so you just heard The Girl by City and Color and Ooh La La by The Faces.
Good stuff we got here. Meredith is a great playlist maker. She is excellent. I am just here making.
You have the technical knowledge. This is what I need.
We're the perfect team. All right, so we're going to talk to you about this week's poll that we're doing.
Kayla, I have a question for you.
What's the question?
This was brought to me by one of my sister's acquaintances, and I've been thinking about this so much. Is cereal a soup?
I'm going to say no, but I'm willing to hear arguments.
So, I mean, if you think about a soup, it's like a food suspended in a liquid. That's pretty much all a soup is, right?
Yeah.
Is there another way to define a soup?
I mean, I would usually say, like, a hot liquid, but I guess it could be cold.
Gazpacho exists.
Gazpacho.
Which then begs the question, without thinking about cereal, is soup a food?
Soup is a food.
Why?
Because you consume it, and it's not necessarily always liquid. There's usually food in it, and it's pretty thick.
Okay, so I agree with you. However, I've heard the argument. It's still soup if it's just broth, or just a liquid.
Yes. Well, I guess...
So is tomato soup a food? There's no chunks.
These are some pretty intense questions.
Then it's just tomato juice in a cup.
It's kind of like the hot dog a sandwich debate.
Which obviously it is not.
So you could say cereal's a soup, but you're arguing that a hot dog is not a sandwich.
What do you think? Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I'm gonna
answer correctly.
I'm gonna say no.
Thank God.
Yeah.
A hot dog is closer to a taco. Think
fair.
about it.
That's fair, but I also don't know if cereal can be considered a soup. Who do you know that thinks that, or is it just you that holds that?
What?
belief?
Is cereal? My sister's a firm believer that soup is not a food and is a drink, and so the guy she was talking to said, "Well, does that make cereal a soup?" And that got me really confused.
Yeah, it's
At the same time, think about this: is a lollipop a drink?
no,
Why not?
because it's a lollipop.
But it just flavors your spit.
But it's not liquid.
But you don't really chew a lollipop.
Wow, I'm really mad right now. It's fine.
Tweet us your opinions.
Yes.
Hashtag TWAM
Yeah.
or at TWAM_WECB.
Yeah, we'll have a poll going to find out if cereal is a soup, and then next week we'll reveal the winner.
And definitely follow us on Twitter.
Yep.
At TWAM _WECB.
I'm gonna plug my own Twitter real quick because I'm a horrible person. Follow me at Kayla
Fine, we all need
_Rosa.
followers.
Yeah, it's a good time. We tweet lots of memes.
We fight a lot.
We fight a lot. It's great. All right, what do we have next?
Next, we have A Beautiful World by Tim Myers.
Beautiful World by Tim Myers on WECB.
And you just heard A Beautiful World by Tim Myers and For Those Below by Mumford & Sons. And it's worth mentioning we do have one response so far to our question as to whether soup is a drink or a food. Haley Dunn at Haley Liz said, soup has to be hot/warm to be defined as a soup. So unless you're eating hot milk with cereal, then I'd say no, cereal is not a soup. Haley, thank you for tweeting at us, but I would like to point out, gazpacho exists.
Meredith is so passionate. There's a lot of things that Meredith is passionate about, certain arguments.
Peanut butter goes on bagels.
That's incorrect. That's another.
Who thinks it's a bread?
That's an age-old argument that is wrong. And
It's not wrong.
I actually did a presentation in class in research writing last year, telling Meredith why, and the whole class, why that was incorrect.
I'm not convinced.
If you,
It's like you say you can't call Dunkin' Donuts Dunks. Also, everyone, please start calling Dunkin' Donuts Dunks. It's way cooler.
she's from New Hampshire. It's
The best state.
It's what happens. So we're also going to place a public bet on since it's public radio, and just radio in general, we are not allowed to curse because we'll
Makes
get
sense.
fined from the FCC. So
Makes
we're going to
sense.
place a bet on how long it's going to take Meredith to
I'm not
break
gonna.
that rule.
I'm not gonna swear.
I don't know about that.
If you meet me in real life, I will. But on the radio, I'm gonna be completely clean.
We shall see. So
Go to
if you are asleep right now, which many people will be because it's a Saturday, don't worry because we are actually recording the show up on a webcam right now. We're going to edit it and post it on our new This Was a Mistake YouTube channel that does not exist yet.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and make sure to follow our Twitter. We'll be back here Saturday, 8 to 9 a.m. Meredith, what song do we got next?
We have First Day of My Life by Bright Eyes.
First Day of My Life by Bright Eyes on This Was a Mistake on WECB.
And you just heard First Day of My Life by Bright Eyes.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, if you missed the show live, we will be putting it up on our YouTube channel that I still have to make. It's actually recording on our webcam right this very moment. A few shameless plugs. Make sure to follow us on at TWAM_WECB to vote in our poll and keep up with our stupid tweets that we're going to have.
What else we plug in? My personal Twitter, Marilyn R. Amazing. I'm hilarious. Please like my pinned tweet.
Yeah.
All good foods come in shades of beige. People say that's not true. It's true.
Yeah, one more shameless plug. I will be on WERS, which is the other Emerson radio station, from 4 to 7 p.m. today. Come listen to some great music. Not all of it is acoustic, but it's still pretty great. Inkblot is up next. It's a comic book show. You guys are really going to like it. Make sure to tune into a lot of the programming here at WECB. It's actually pretty great. We have a platform to do whatever we want. All right, Meredith, what's the last song that we have?
All right. This is one of my new favorite songs. It's called Cape Canaveral by Connor Oberst. Go listen to it. It's amazing.
All right, thank you so much for listening. Tune in to us next week, 8 to 9 a.m. on Saturdays.